My name is Diana, and I'm a junior in college, and I'm so excited about the new GETT video series. My favorite memory from GETT was when a female helicopter pilot landed that helicopter and I actually got to go meet her. It was so inspiring. My favorite STEM subject is definitely engineering. I also enjoy science and math, and I'm studying aerospace engineering at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University with an astronautics track. That means I'm going to be a rocket scientist, and someday I'm going to build the spacecraft that will take us to Mars. Last but not least, happy 20th anniversary, GETT!
Hi, I'm Deb Luswick. I'm a member of AAUW, the American Association of University Women. Our association is a group of women who have attended college. We work together to support women's issues, especially for fairness and equality. I'm also a chemist, a wife and a mother of 2 children who are now engineers. I'm retired, but I worked for DuPont for 34 years. DuPont is a materials company in Delaware. Over my career, I did lots of different types of work, from research to regulatory work to communications. However, one job that was the most fun was being responsible for a group of scientists who analyzed and characterized polymers. Polymers are plastics and rubbery materials, sort of like the hard plastic around your cell phone or the nylon bristles of your toothbrush or the rubbery material on the bottom of your sneaker. Polymers are also used in automotive paint to make them flow better and resist scratching. Much of our work was like detective work on materials, figuring out what went wrong if a material didn't perform properly, making sure that a material was acceptable for use in food applications or food contact applications, looking at the structure of a material to make it perform much better. Once the FBI even contacted me. They were looking for tests that could be used to identify paints in crimes. That was pretty cool.
Hi, my name is Amita Mohan, and I'm a plant scientist in the Department of Biology at University of Pennsylvania. How plant cells communicate with each other. How the signals from one cell changes the expression of gene in another. I'm working to understand these questions in the root of a small plant, Arabidopsis. I'm studying how protein modification affects the cell-to-cell movement of protein. I also study gene structure and its function by looking into the DNA sequence. Sometimes I change the DNA sequence to study how gene functions. This means I frequently isolate DNA, RNA, and proteins in lab.
Today, my friend Amita and I are going to be talking about lab work and DNA. I wonder, we have so many different kinds of species on Earth. They all must differ in their DNA sequence.
Yes, Deb, we have more than 8.5 million species on Earth.
Really? And I've noticed we have differences, that is, variations within the same species. For example, I buy Honeycrisp apples, but there's also Golden Delicious apples, Red Delicious apples, Gala apples, Fuji apples, Matsu. There's a zillion different kinds of apples.
Do you know these differences are due to difference in the alphabets of DNA?
Yes, I know the alphabets of DNA. The letters are called base pairs. They're referred to by their structural name, A, T, G, and C. Their order on our DNA makes up our genetic code. Our cells read the code to make molecules and structures that allow our bodies to function. Regions of DNA that encode molecules known as proteins are called genes. The unique code in every person results in differences between individual people, which distinguish their traits.
True, Deb. Although we have vast majority of DNA, about 99.9% on an average, between 2 individual humans, same. Still, scientists have able to identify the regions of the DNA that are different between people who are not closely related. And these differences help in genetic testing and forensics.
It's a little like identifying suspects from crime scenes and paternity disputes, sort of like what I did in the lab with polymers, trying to figure out what's going on. The chance that 2 people who aren't closely related having the same DNA profile is 1 in 1 billion. I wonder how they isolate DNA. I've never really seen DNA in my life.
Let's isolate DNA in a simple way. We can do this in our kitchen. For DNA isolation, we need strawberries, fresh or frozen. I'm using frozen strawberries. We can also use banana or kiwi. We need table salt, dishwasher soap, half glass normal tap water. We need rubbing alcohol. You need a coffee filter. I'm going to use the strainer. Ziploc bag and a plastic or a narrow cup or a container. So let's start the DNA isolation. First, we are going to make a solution which we call as an extraction solution. For this, we are going to add 2 teaspoons of liquid detergent into the water. And we are going to add like 1 teaspoon of salt in this water. We are going to mix so that salt and detergent mix well. Keep this solution aside. Now we are going to take strawberry in a Ziploc bag and we are going to mash this strawberry. Now we are going to add a little bit of the solution which we made. And now we are going to close the Ziploc bag. And now we are going to mush or squeeze the strawberries one more time. This is how it's going to look like. Now, I'm going to strain this solution so that all the chunky pieces of strawberries are left in the strainer and we have a clear solution in the cup. To this clear solution, I'm going to add the rubbing alcohol carefully from the side. So now I added the rubbing alcohol on top of the strawberry extract. Now you can see like the white cotton mass is coming out in this clear solution. And this is DNA. If you leave it for a few seconds, you can easily take this DNA out. For example, see, I'm going to take this DNA out. Here is the DNA. You can touch it. And this is a strawberry DNA. In lab, we use sophisticated instruments and chemicals to isolate the pure DNA. So I can show you again. Here is the white cottony mass. This is DNA.
Wow, that's so cool.
Scientists sequence the DNA to know the code, and unique code help to detect some medical problems. Perhaps such as identifying people who carry the gene associated with breast cancer. Knowing about these issues and about how DNA works, doctors and scientists can work together for a treatment or a cure.
That's what they do in ancestry analysis in companies like Ancestry.com or 23andMe to trace your heritage or lineage. My family did a National Geographic DNA test a long time ago to learn about our ancestry, and it identified that I have 4% DNA from Neanderthals. And by the way, scientists are learning more about Neanderthals, and they were pretty smart.
Impressive. And that's how we can have hair like dad or no shape like grandma. Because DNA keeps on passing from one generation to other, and that's how life keeps on going.
Yep, there are several traits that we can identify in our own family. Go look in a mirror. What do you see? Is your hair curly? Wavy? Straight? What color is your hair? Red? Blonde? Black? Brown? What color are your eyes? Brown, green, blue, gray? Or some people have two different colors.
Do you have freckles or not? How do your earlobes look? Do you have earlobes that hang loose, or are they attached? Or somewhere in between? Now check earlobes of your family member. Can you guess from where you got your shape?
Stick out your tongue. Can you roll it in a tube? Can you make the end have fancy bumps? My brother could not roll his tongue. It just looked like a shovel hanging out. My children, however, can make clover leaves with their tongues. I wish I could. That is so cool.
How about this? Find a coffee bean and taste it. How does it taste to you? Does it taste bitter? Not everyone can taste it really bitter. This is determined by a single gene, and this gene allows you to taste the bitter chemical PTC.
These traits and many others are determined by your personal DNA. You inherited your DNA from your father and your mother. Talk to your family, your grandparents, your aunts, your uncles about their traits. Are their traits all the same as yours? Why don't you look at some of their traits and map them on your family tree?
This is going to be a fun activity. I will check with my parents and extended family members to see what traits I inherited from my mother's side and what from my father's side. I'm really excited.
I'm going to go isolate DNA in my kitchen.
Happy learning. Bye.
You can